to another Anime Kingdom review. See by the title below, yes, this is on episode 2 of Violet Evergarden, and sorry that this is, of course, several days late. But right at this moment, I'm kind of having some difficulties with school. Probably my most difficult semester yet. Got some pretty hard classes, honestly, and I'm just trying to figure out a good consistent schedule to be able to do all of that for school while also being able to do make videos for you guys as well on this channel. So sorry that, of course, some of these videos are coming out late, but as the weeks go on and as I find that consistent schedule, everything should be back to normal. So for now, sorry that you have to deal with that, but yeah, let's get on to how I felt about episode 2, because that's obviously why you guys are here. I gotta say, as I said before, the first episode, I really loved it. This episode, there was no inconsistencies with the art and animation, and the soundtrack is still as awesome as it was in the first episode. So, of course, that's a good thing, The big thing that I was looking forward to see, as the first episode was much more world building, much more character building and everything, kind of just introducing us to the world and the story of Violet Evergarden. That's usually how the first episode goes. So I was really looking forward to seeing how this episode went for the characters overall. Seeing how the development went, as we saw in the first episode. Violet, she's pretty much very emotionless. Obviously, she was she was grown just to be pretty much just a human weapon, and we don't really know much of her past. I'm not too sure if they're going to show more of how she was raised before Gilbert had met her, because of course, as you saw at the ending of the last episode and the beginning of this episode, we got to see when Gilbert first was introduced to Violet by his brother and everything, and you can see she was all kind of like scratched up but emotionless, pretty much, because that's how she was, I guess, raised or grown, probably tortured in a way. Honestly, we don't know the specifics of everything, and if they ever will show us those kind of things of her past and everything, if it is important or not. I feel like it is, because it'll explain why she is the way she is now, but it's not obviously necessary as of yet. The more important thing is just to know that, of course, she was raised as a weapon and she's emotionless, which is why one thing I really did love in this episode, when Erica, I think that's what her name was, said that she looks exactly like the namesake of their job, which, they are dolls. And she really is like a doll. She's completely emotionless and everything. And I don't know, I just love that analogy. It fit really well. And obviously, she finally, in the first episode, she finally did figure out what she wanted to do, what the whole thing was going to be for the rest of the season, her kind of goals and everything, and that is, of course, to become a doll and to figure out the meaning behind the words that Gilbert had left her before he supposedly died. I'm not going to say he completely died yet, because we honestly still do not know. Even when Hodgins had said at the very end that he's no longer with them, that doesn't necessarily mean he died. I'm pretty sure that is what it is, but it could have been went rogue and betrayed someone or something else along those lines. I don't know. I'm just not going to be completely 100% on board with he is dead. It might come along somewhere in the season, everyone's gonna be like, oh my gosh, he's actually alive, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I mean, there was always that chance. I'm still probably gonna be surprised, but because I'm 99.9% sure he is dead from how everything is. But honestly, you never know with these kind of things, especially these drama, heavy drama animes and everything, But yeah, before I went on that tangent of, pretty much talking about Gilbert and his possibility of him actually being alive and him not really being dead, the whole thing was obviously, Violet wanted to become a doll because of the reason she wants to know the meaning behind the words I love you, because obviously she doesn't really understand emotions really well, and that is why I, of course, made that the title of this video, because that is pretty much this episode. It's her trying to understand emotions and obviously failing at it. Sure, she could type pretty damn good. I expected that, honestly, for some reason. I don't know. I guess I thought like robot hands. Obviously, that's not the way it is, but I just figured that her kind of person should be able to pick it up pretty damn easily with those kind of things. Obviously, she had to learn to do it kind of more softer. But the whole thing was when she ends up, as we saw, pretty much writing that letter for that woman, she ended up not doing it correctly. Now, this is a point where I'm over here like, okay, so I get it that people don't know how to write and everything, so they're having these people, write the letters for them. But why don't you just say exactly what you want that person to say, what you want the letter to say, so that they could just type in normally exactly what you want, and that is the end product. Instead, you get this whole thing. Even Catalea, I think her name is, started talking about how, yeah, you have to really understand the emotions of what they're trying to say and kind of trying to formulate it in the way that it's supposed to be. We even saw Erica, who's another girl there, ended up not doing well either, and the guy ended up being pissed at what she ended up saying because that was her interpretation of what he was saying. They're not saying exactly what they want. They're just saying kind of this roundabout kind of way, and how she wanted, she is in love with the guy, but she's trying to, not be too, what is the word? She didn't want to be too quick on it. I honestly forget what she was really trying to say. And obviously, Violet took that as, I'm just going to write exactly what she was saying. And that's what she did. I don't understand why you have to do this roundabout way kind of thing, It's kind of doesn't make sense in my opinion, honestly. And another thing, after the writing is done, I'm pretty sure the guy saw it and he got mad when Erica, her writing was bad. But this letter got sent to the guy, and the woman didn't even know. She didn't decide to like, oh, let me check what you wrote first. That part, I was like, full on, sorry lady, that's partially your fault as well. You should have looked at that, even though obviously, Violet was at fault because I guess her job description is she's supposed to know exactly what you're supposed to write, and that's why everyone always loves to go to Catalea, because she seems to know exactly what people want and has, I guess, a good record. Plus, I guess, she is pretty hot as well. And I'm not too sure on the, what she actually does, what else she actually does, as she was with Hodgins, and there was kind of a, saying someone else's name when they're in bed kind of thing that she said. So I'm not too sure if she's also, I don't know, a prostitute as well, but it was kind of implied there, as we saw Benedict kind of like, what the hell's going on over there? And I gotta say, Benedict, not too sure how much of a role he's gonna play in the rest of the series. But that part when he was like, hey girls, I got some noodles, fried noodles, you want to go eat? And they went full on like, huh, don't even come over here when you're sweating and stuff. I was like, damn, I feel sorry for the guy. And then of course the other girls come in and he asks again, they deny him, and the old guy over there is just full on like, I'll have some noodles. And he's like, oh, really? Like, I was like, oh my gosh. Full on felt just like, that part was just hilarious. Like, I was like, oh man, the dude just wants someone to eat some noodles with him. He got some noodles for people. Why you gotta be a dick about it? Just sit down, eat the noodles with him, and thank him for it. Why you gotta be a dick about it? All the girls being a dick to him. Don't worry, dude. I'd eat the noodles with you as well. But obviously the big thing was for this episode was about Violet understanding emotions and everything, and kind of Erica. You seen her being a significant role probably later on in the series because of the connection that she pretty much is just like Violet. Sure, she's not an emotionless weapon, but she also isn't made for this job either, but she has her own reasons, as we saw at the very end as well, and that's why she ended up sticking up for Violet in the end, even though obviously Hodgins wasn't gonna fire her yet anyway. But it was cool to see that there is someone there that has a connection and is gonna be able to help Violet out as she goes on this journey to figure out the meaning behind the words I love you and start to finally understand emotion, because it's obviously not going to be a walk in the park. It's going to be probably several episodes before we are able to see her finally start to understand emotions, finally start to understand how to do her job. So it should be an interesting ride to see how these next couple episodes will go. It's probably going to be a lot of drama, a lot of difficulties for a lot of the girls and everything, but yeah, overall, I can't wait to see more things, learn more about Violet's past, learn more about Gilbert and Violet and everything that Hodgins probably knows and is not going to tell her. That part when she had the brooch and she looked so happy, man, it broke my heart, because that, well, like I said, 99.9% sure that Gilbert is indeed dead, and it's probably like, it's just waiting for that moment when that finally is unveiled and she finds out. it's gonna be emotional. And honestly, I don't think I'm ever gonna be ready, even like if it's like several episodes, like halfway into the season, when we finally do get to learn more about that, when we finally get to hear the words come out and her finally figure that out. But yeah, it's all I really gotta say, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review. I gotta say it was a pretty damn good episode, a good second episode to start things off. I'm looking forward to seeing how everything does develop with our characters overall in the next couple episodes. But so far, so good. Characters, loving them. Story, loving them. And like I said before, art, animation, and the soundtrack was as awesome as the first. And hopefully it continues on that trend as well. But yeah, if you did enjoy it, feel like if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. As always, guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. How did you feel about this episode? Good, bad, whatever you guys want to say. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. Till next time, see ya.